Okay, good evening. This is Julie White from Mansfield, Pennsylvania, Pro 7 with LifeVantage. I'm honored and humbled just to be with you guys tonight. It's always just such a blessing to be on our team Zoom and see all your faces. And we haven't been able to get together in a long time, but it's just great when we can at least get on these Zooms and see each other and share. So tonight I'm going to share my screen, and if you guys have a copy of your launch guide handy, you can follow along using that. Alrighty, so give me a thumbs up if you can see the launch guide on the screen. All right, thank you. So this is really awesome, this launch guide. I'm so thankful that LifeVantage came out with this launch guide because it's so helpful to have a simple system that we can all follow and that we can all be on the same page. Because, one of the most important things about our LifeVantage business is duplication. And this makes duplication work when we're all following the same system, doing the same thing, and we can, help others to follow the system as well. Because we all know that in this business, we cannot do it alone. You might be able to get to Pro 3, maybe to Pro 4 by yourself. But this is a business where you really need a team and everybody needs to be duplicating and following the same system. So we're thankful for this launch guide. And it's only going to take a few minutes to go over this, but where you find this launch guide is in our monthly marketing playbook. If you're not sure where that is, if you go to your website, and you can log in and you're going to see a drop down bar, and one of the things on the drop down bar is the launch guide, the monthly playbook. And then when you go to the monthly playbook, you will see the launch guide right inside there. Another thing, if you can't find that monthly playbook, there were a couple times that, I don't know, my website was just being a little tricky and I had a hard time finding it. There's a search bar, and that search bar is a real lifesaver. You can just type in the search bar, the playbook, and it will bring it right up. And you're going to see the launch guide and you can download it. There's also a great training on there that I usually show to my new people, because Pro 10 Rachel Pekarik, she does a training on this launch guide. So I recommend that people watch her, but I also recommend that when we get a new distributor, that we go over this with them personally. The other two things that you're going to see right beside the launch guide are the first touch video and the overview video. They're right there. If you have not watched them, make sure you watch them, because you're going to want to use them to follow this system. So, okay, let's just get started here. The first section is just the LifeVantage corporate information. We have our website. We have our virtual office, which we call EVO. And that's where you're going to log in with your ID number and your password. So that's important to get familiar, with your virtual back office, and to help your new people to become familiar with that. And then there's the customer support number. Everybody needs to have the customer support number. You can also email customer support. They also have a little chat where you can chat with them. And then we have our corporate Facebook page, which is Official LifeVantage Distributor Group. So we want to encourage everyone to join that group. There's a lot of announcements in there. There's, just a lot of information. It's good just to stay in touch with what's going on with LifeVantage. So you want to encourage new people to go ahead and join that group. And then we have our monthly marketing playbook. And like I said, that's where we find so much information. There's like all these social media graphics. There's information on success mastery, on the Tuesday night meetings, all the promotions, and just a lot of really useful information. This launch guide, the videos, recordings. So that's a really amazing source of information. There's a social media event calendar in there that you can use. So we definitely want people to be plugged into that playbook. And then, of course, we have our LifeVantage app. I know Skip and Jill Campbell, they've been doing a weekly Zoom. You guys should be getting a text or an email about that. It's every Monday. They're called Team 212. And so they have it Eastern time, it's 412. So Central time, it's going to be 312, and so on and so forth. But next week, they're having the gentleman who has worked on the app, the LifeVantage app, and the one who has really made all the improvements on it. He's going to be on their team Zoom. So that will be helpful. And then, of course, we have our support team. Now, probably the person who enrolled you, you already have their information, and also you don't really need to maybe put their name down here, but probably the two people that are right above them, you want to have their names and contact information. And then we have our own team Facebook groups. We want to help new people to get involved in these groups by inviting them to join the group, and they can look for that notification and they can join our LifeTree Facebook groups. We have 3 of them. We have the LifeTree Team Distributors for distributors. We have the LifeTree Health Network for business and product information. And then we have LifeTree Science, that is only product information. So those are very useful in getting people the information. And then we have a little calendar here where we can type in or write in our Zoom meetings and different calls and things, like our Monday night one that we have right now, our team Zoom, the one with the Campbells that's on Monday. Tuesday nights, we have the Tuesday night overview. It's actually not an overview anymore. What they're doing now on Tuesday nights, LifeVantage, is they're having a couple people tell their stories, because they're saying that we have our first touch video, now we have our overview video, and then we need the third party validation. So Tuesday night is like a third party validation, and it's usually 2 LifeVantage distributors that have been successful, and they're sharing their stories, and I have found them to be very powerful. So I would encourage you to use that as a resource. And then, of course, there's lots of Zoom meetings going on that many different teams are doing. So feel free to post those on our team LifeTree distributor page. If you see one that looks like it'd be helpful for everyone, feel free to post that. And then on Saturdays, we have our Success Mastery. You can, put that in there for that training. And then we go to the next section, which is about your success. So getting focused. You're going to write down 3 reasons for joining LifeVantage. What do you want and why do you want it? Now, this is something that is really important. We might not realize, at least for me, when I first started in this, I didn't realize like the importance of this. But what this really does is it helps us to stay on task. It helps us to stay focused, because if we can keep sight of our goals and why we want to do LifeVantage, if we get a bump in the road, or we feel like we're stuck, or something like that, or maybe you're having, you're disappointed about how your business is going at some point. This is a business where we do have some emotional ups and downs, and that's why we need each other and need to encourage each other and keep each other accountable. But this will help us stay focused. And I know a lot of people, they write this down. They might have it on their mirror. You can also make a vision board. A lot of people make vision boards where you can have pictures and your why and everything right on that board, and have it somewhere where you can see it. So I have, for myself, when I first started in this, I was just like passionate about Protandim, and I always have been passionate about helping people with their health. So I was like, I just really want to help people, with their health. And that's what I love to do. So I still love to do that. That's still one of the one of the parts of my why. It's also, my family, because I was kind of tired of not making more of a contribution to my family, because I want them to have as many opportunities in life as possible. And then the other reason for me personally is I love to give back. I love to support missionaries, missions, and charities. So, and this enables us to be able to do more of that. I have also asked my dear friend, Debbie Packard, if she would share her why with us, just to give us some ideas of, how we can help people to kind of dig deeper and get in touch with their why. So, Debbie, I'm going to just have you share right now about your why.
I'm happy to, Julie, and it is not a lot different than yours. When we first heard about this product and this company, um, my first motivation was to get this word out. I just thought, why have I not heard this information before? And how quickly can I get this information out to the people I know that need to hear it? So I still am motivated that way. I we need to get the word out, and I want to see people able to at least make that decision, and they can't make it if they don't even know it's available. um, when we heard about this company, we were in our 60s already, and so uh, and we were face to face with the truth that we had not done an adequate job of preparing for um, what most people call retirement. I don't for our years after our main number one job that we were doing for years, I guess. But just knowing that we were going to need to beef up our finances, and not knowing how we were going to do that. And so that is a real motivator for us, is to get to the place so that when John retires from his full-time job with the state of Kansas, that income will be easily replaced and multiplied by what we have built up with LifeVantage. It's important to us that we do that because, for one thing, we really don't want to have to be relying on someone else to pay for our living expenses. We want to be able to be responsible for our own living expenses, but way beyond that, we have dreams still. I mean, John and I love to travel, and we are still hoping that God will provide the way for us to do that a lot. And we have a lot of places we'd like to go still, so we want to be able to do that. Um, and really, a lot of our travel is based on our desire to support and help and encourage missionaries, and we know them in a lot of different places around the world. So that is all kind of tied together. It's a real passion of ours. Um, and then finally, just most of we have 6 children, and 5 of them are married, and they've so far given us 11 beautiful grandchildren and one coming, and we just want to be able to leave a legacy for them and really invest in their lives so that they can carry on the things that we've invested in them and the things that they have pursued on their own. So all of that takes it takes money, and it takes passion, and it takes hope, and those are things that we see this business really equipping us to be able to do that. So that's my why.
That's awesome, Debbie. I love your why. It's just beautiful. And you're such a great example, being a team leader in a Pro 5. We just really appreciate you sharing that. And I understand, the retirement part too, because my husband retired, and this was probably a couple years ago now. But once he went to Walmart, and he came back from Walmart, and he goes, "Honey, I'm going to give you a hug." And I'm like, "Okay." And he gave me this big hug. And I'm like, "Well, what was that about?" And he's like, "Well, I just got to thinking, if it wasn't for you doing LifeVantage," he said, "I might be one of those Walmart greeters." And so, that just really touched my heart. But so it is helpful in so many ways. And just to help people get in touch with their why is really important. And then we need to help people get organized with their website, their referral site. You log in to info at lifevantage.com there, and you can, choose your name. You can use your name the way you enrolled, or you can use something else. For me, I just use Julie instead of Julie White. But you can put in there what you want. It's not really recommended to use Pro Tandem or LifeVantage in there, but you get to choose as long as somebody else hasn't chosen it and it's available. You can make that what you want it to be. And then, of course, you want to get familiar. You want to be your first and best customer. You want to use all the LifeVantage products so that you can have your own story with the products. That is so, so powerful. And then you have your subscription, an active subscription as a distributor. And when we have that subscription, we're getting like 20% off the non-subscription price. And also just make sure people understand they need the 200 PV of product every month to maximize, your earnings for the 40%. So you can either purchase that yourself, or you can have some personally enrolled customers who will contribute to that. But just remember, it's always the personally enrolled customers, not customers who somebody may have blessed you with by placing them under you. And then, of course, we need to develop our skills. That's, always just so important. If we want to be successful in any job, it usually requires training. And I think sometimes people come into this and it's just different. So, they don't think about the importance of learning your skills. But I know the people that were attending the GoPro and the Building Depth this weekend realize the importance of learning skills and the training that LifeVantage offers. Like tonight, we have our team training on Monday nights. Skip and Jill are offering it every Monday now also, and our Saturday training, and our Elite Academies. Our next Elite Academy is going to be in March, and that is going to be virtual. Again, I'm sure it will be absolutely amazing. I was so blessed by our global convention. I thought it was incredible. So we want to stay plugged in. There's LifeVantage Academy. There's all kinds of trainings that we can stay plugged into. Another thing is our PACE. The PACE Setter program is tremendous. It's a great thing that we need to plug people into. And if you're just getting started, it's a great example to set for those that are going to join your team, because it helps create some momentum. It helps you to get to Pro 2 in your first month, and then you earn the extra $100, maintain it a second month, you get another $100. And then when you achieve Pro 3, which this launch guide can help you do, in 90 days, you've earned $250, and maintain that for another month, another $250. Wow, that's $700 in a new person's pocket, along with, all the Smart Start bonus that they would have gotten from enrolling those people. So that is something I think that is super important to help our people get started on. Then we have our average annual earnings disclosure, which is such a valuable resource. We can find that at the bottom of, when you go on your website, the front page, you go all the way down to the bottom under support, and then under resources, and they have a lot of things right in there. And the average annual earning disclosure is one of them. I always like to ask people, look at this. Isn't this like incredible, the potential that this has? I mean, I think so many people are just like, it's kind of like, que sera, sera. They don't realize that they didn't have to let go of their dreams. They can still dream big. They can still pursue those dreams. Ask them to look at that average monthly income for the different ranks and what aligns with your vision. What is the, and then it shows you the average time to reach that rank. How many hours can you commit to? These are all great things for the new person. How much money do you want to earn in the next 30 to 96 months, 1 year? I remember Seth Campbell when I joined, which has been I joined on Christmas Eve almost 10 years ago now. This Christmas Eve, it'll be 10 years ago that I joined LifeVantage. And I remember Seth asking me, how much do I want to make in a month? You guys want to know what I said? I said a whopping $50,000 a month. That's what I said. So I still have some work to do, don't I? So anyway, that's what I said. So I actually hold that up to the Lord, and I was really blessed one time because Jeannie, I don't know if you remember, but you came to me and you said, Julie, I had a dream about you. And I'm like, okay, what was the dream? And she said, I dreamt that you got to Pro 9. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that might get me to the 50,000 mark. So I hold that up to the Lord. Thank you, Jeannie, for that encouragement. So here we go with this super powerful system, the ITT, Invite Tool Team. So the first step is inviting, starting that conversation to see if someone is open to learning, how to take control of their health, how to take control of their life. People that want more, do you have a few minutes to check out a video? So we have our first touch video now. So we're all following the same system. It makes it so much simpler. We have that first touch video. And then, we always ask them, what did you like best about what you saw? What intrigued you? What stood out to you? Ask them those questions. And then, are you open to learning a little bit more? And then when they are, we can show them the new LifeVantage overview video. This system is making it so easy for us to get our business really going, to get it rolling, to get some momentum going. And then the third step, which seems to be the most challenging for people, but I think it's very crucial not to skip this step. I honestly believe that it really helped me so much, and it has over the years. I did this from the start because basically I did it because I didn't know anything. And Krista, knew more than me. And so I just, had people watch the video and got them on the phone with Krista. And that was how I really got going. So I just encourage you. And I know today that not everybody is into using the phone, like picking up the old phone and talking. So there are some other options. I still think talking on the phone is great, but I know a lot of younger people don't use the phone a lot. So there's other options. You can use the Facebook message, chat. You can join somebody into the chat and do a chat. You can even do on the chat, you can even do the phone on there. Click on the phone, click on the video, and do a 3-way video chat. You can get on Zoom. There's lots of options, but please, don't leave this step out. I have heard so many people say that they were leaving this step out and they were getting nowhere fast. And then they started using this and their business started moving forward. So even now we have the Tuesday night, that's third-party validation, getting someone on Tuesday night, to hear the people's stories. So you don't want to leave this step out. You can also, invite them to a Zoom. Okay, and then we have our closing scripts. Are you clear on what to do next? Do you need recommendations? So do you want to be a customer or would you like to be a distributor like me? You can share about the packages and the different stacks and things. And then if they're ready to, if they say, yeah, I'm ready to be a customer, ready to be a distributor, just go ahead and get started, start getting their information, give them the link with the cart, already having the items in it. So, don't wait. I know one of the things that I learned at the GoPro Eric Worre thing this weekend, it just kind of hit me in a new way. I mean, I already knew, that we have a gift and that we shouldn't hold back, but it kind of went to a newer level with me. I thought, I just got to thinking about it. I thought, I think I'm still holding back a little bit. Like there's some times when I feel like I'm not sure that, I'm just not as, I don't know, maybe bold is the word. I could be a little bolder sometimes, a little more forthright, because if you think about it, how would you feel if, the person who shared with you didn't have, the courage to share with you? How would you feel about it if you didn't know about this? I mean, I don't know. It kind of went to a new level for me. And then, so I'm getting a little bolder with that. So, and then you can ask them if they're not ready to sign up, you can do the scale of 1 to 10 thing. And then we have our list. We want to help people when we're going over this with people, we can have them begin writing down their list. And we can even call with them, the first several people. But this is great because it's a simple system. And all we do to get our business going and to keep it going is following this system. Invite them to the first touch, invite them to the overview, invite them to, talking with a friend on your team or a friend in LifeVantage. So, and this is the 25 ITT. This is what we want to keep going. We can print this page out, and we need to keep 25 people in the funnel that we are working with. And this is going to help us get to Pro 3. And so what you want to do is you want to help your person get to Pro 3, and then, they want to help, you get 2 people to get to Pro 3, and what are you, Pro 4? So, if we are just like Pro 3 factories, we can really grow our business. Pro 3 is the foundational rank. And we have this great memory jogger that has, all different ideas, of who we can contact. And I know I love this, what they're doing right now with Flip the Switch and the bonus poll. I finally got it last month, and I'm really committed to doing it again this month. And I think it's so helpful. It just gives us that little extra incentive to work a little harder. And I have found that really helpful. I'm reaching out to some people that, I haven't reached out to before, and just getting a little bit bolder. Somebody was trying to sell me some health insurance, and he asked me what I did. So I told him, and I'm like, I'd love to share some information with you. And so he said, okay. So, that's been going pretty well. But so anyway, that's it for the launch guide. I'm going to stop the share. Does anybody have any quick questions on it? If not, I'd like to turn some time over to my dear friend, Christy Krasenstein, and she is an amazing LifeVantage distributor. Honestly, Chrissy, let me unmute you, or if you can unmute yourself there, Christy. I've known Christy for quite a few years now. She is in my cousin Linda Musser's organization, and I met her through Linda. And she is just a very strong person, and she's very committed to LifeVantage. Enjoyed seeing her at a lot of the events in Cancun and things like that. She has a great story. She's been through a lot, and she has stayed tried and true, and she's still learning and growing. And Christy, I know you found this GoPro event really, really helpful. So I'm going to turn some time over to you, my dear.
Thank you. And anybody that knows me, this is totally out of my comfort zone. But going to the virtual GoPro, there were 40,000 people on the little screen in boxes. We were put into groups of 400 and then broken into groups where we actually spoke to each other. So it got us a little bit more comfortable. If any of you have ever heard or never heard Pat Quinn or Pete Vargas, you need to download their YouTube videos and soak them in. Pat is an absolutely brilliant speaking coach and taught us how to tell our story, how to tell it well, not only verbally, but with our body language. Pete Vargas is an absolute blessing to hear. He is a man of God, and he is not afraid to talk about it. And he was wonderful. So I urge you to go and look both of them up. A couple of the things that really stuck out to me, Fraser Brooks taught us social media, and we were taught not to fixate. Right now we're being told, learn one social media and stick with it. And they are now telling us not to do that. They want us to dabble in Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram because there's whole different demographics that we're missing if we don't do all three. They would say, don't worry about doing it perfectly, just do it. So Fraser was teaching us to do 5 by 5 by 5. So you need to figure out what your passions are and go find 5 Facebook groups that involve those passions in some way. And then every single day you need to go in there and make 5 comments in each of the 5 groups for people that are active in that group. And then the third 5 is that it has to be at least 5 meaningful words. You're not allowed just to go, that was great, or that was moving, or you really want to be heartfelt and speaking to these people. And that just gets conversation started. Jessie Lee, who I had never heard of before, an absolute hoot. She taught us that we need to go out and add so much value because people today are seeing so many depressive things. Each and every day we're being bombarded, and we need to go out and be the light shining around Facebook, around Instagram, where people want to go and they want to see your posts. Quotes, gratitude, motivation. We were told this weekend something I had no idea existed. There are free apps that let you reshare posted content. And as long as that content is made public and you give those people credit, you can share it. So we don't have to come up with our own posts anymore. You see something and you like it, copy it, post it, give them credit. We were also told that 80% of our posts should be shareable content that is not our own, and that only 20% should be our own things, and it should not be about our products. Until we get to the point that we're like Rachel Pekarik, or oh my goodness, there's so many great people that are out there on Facebook that are doing amazing things. We will never have the success that they are having because we're not at their level yet. We have to build it up to that. So that was those 4 things. And then my biggest takeaway was Trent Shelton. He is a young ex-football NFL player who he touched my soul. I had tears streaming by the time he was done. He was talking to me, and he talked about fear. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I have held back because I'm afraid. And I know that now. That is why I have not done what I need to do. Now, he made it known that there's 2 choices that we have with fear. We can either let it paralyze us, or we can use that fear to propel us. There is no such thing as failure. If we have fear and we go ahead and do it, the failure is our feedback. We don't need to take that failure and say, oh my goodness, they weren't interested. No, we need to turn that around and say, you know what, they weren't interested, but at least I had the opportunity to share it with them. He wants us to embrace our failures. He said so many things that just hit me. One of the things is the fear of staying the same has to outweigh the fear of change. If I don't change, I'm going to be right where I am 5 years from now. And I don't want to be sitting in the same spot because that means I haven't reached people. And that was the last thing that he talked to us about. God put us on this earth. We each have a mission. Every failure or setback that we have had in life has prepared us and propelled us on to the next thing. If I hadn't hurt my back in my 20s, I wouldn't have ended up in labor and delivery in the position that I did. If I hadn't gotten sick in 2015, I never would have heard about Protandim. Last year, I was on the verge of quitting this business, and that's when I hurt my neck, and I was down for 6 months. And I know now that that is so that I can be here. And there's people out there that if I don't share this information with them, nobody's going to. I'm here to reach those people. And you guys are there to reach the people that you're going to reach. That's all I have, but it was incredible. Get your tickets for next year. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Christy. That was amazing. I appreciate your vulnerability and just you shared some amazing insights with us. So thank you, Christy. That was so encouraging, and I'm so glad that you were so encouraged by the event. And you're right. Right now, the tickets, Christy, if I remember right, the tickets are like, what, $97 for next year's GoPro for, what, do you know the date? Is it like the 20th or something like
The
that?
21st. They go up the 21st.
Yeah, because I know for this one, I paid $297. So getting next year's for $97 is a really good deal.
They are also, they're doing, Julie, I'm sorry, they are also doing a college class for the next year called the Accelerators. I am not able to do it at this time, but for anybody that wants to be fully immersed for the next year, they're doing 4 two-day workshops where you'll actually implement everything. You're going to have one-on-one coaching, and it sounds like it would be amazing, but it's not in my financial capabilities at this point.
And what was the price on that? Do you know, Christy?
I believe it was $8,900 if you paid at once, and 11 payments of almost $1,000.
Okay, yeah.
If you did payment.
That's what I remember. So yeah, okay. So thank you. So those things are available. Thanks again, Christy. That was awesome sharing. We just appreciate your heart and glad that you're encouraged. Does anybody else that was at GoPro or Building Depth like to share anything tonight? I want to give everyone an opportunity.
I'd like to share something that really surprised me. When she was describing how we would be with all these thousands of people, how we were paired to within 2 or 3, they were meeting rooms, and our meeting room for LifeVantage was number 108. And all of the people in our meeting room whom we saw the pictures of were from 108. And that meant that when we were, for the short discussion times put with the people, we were put with people from different countries, but all in LifeVantage. And that in itself was, even though the time was so very limited, it was such a blessing, because also the chat was within our own company of LifeVantage. So for example, while our main speaker was talking about duplication and how they would be willing to work with us to perfect a duplication, well, we in the chat were able to share, oh my gosh, we've got this. We have ITT. Everything is in place already.
Yes.
And that was a blessing, just to be with LifeVantage people too.
You're right, Jan. I thought that was really amazing as well. And yeah, it was a lot of fun just being connected with the people in LifeVantage and, being able to encourage each other in the chat. That I love that. That was great. Anybody else like to share?
I'll share just a little bit. I took away from something Eric Worre shared, and I mean, this means a lot to me because I feel like it's not just with network marketing in my life. It applies to my whole life and like the kind of person that I've been. And so he was talking about, if you want more duplication, that the number one tool is assignments. And he encouraged us to give assignments to people instead of giving them what they're asking for, like make it a trade. Because he said, if we don't have them, let them give anything, then they don't have to become much. And so, for instance, if someone asks you to do a Zoom and you know that they're not using the product, he says, tell them, well, I'd like to see you use this product, and then I'll be happy to do a Zoom for you. Or if they're, saying that they want to be, the rank of such and such, then give them an assignment that would be equivalent to that rank. And if they, if they can't do it, then you keep lowering it until you can find out what their level is. And it helps you to find out where their fear level is and where do they freeze up. And also to find out, where if they're willing, coachable, and hungry. And so that was just a really great message for me.
Thank you, Jeannie. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Yeah, that's a lot of insight right there. Anybody else?
I was there. I'm Manira.
Hi, Manera.
Hello. The theme I thought was duplication. So the first thing I learned was, do what your people tell you to do. And even though there was a lot of information and I've got notes and notes of pages and pages of notes that I have to decipher, the one thing that kept coming back was go follow your leaders. They didn't become leaders because they didn't do anything right. Go follow them, even though you have to tweak their way because they did it because social media was around. You got to go follow them, figure it out, but follow them and find a leader, not one, but 2 or 3 that you can follow and learn from them. And even if you have to sit down with them every day, 15 minutes, then do it. So that was something, and one thing that they all said a different thing, but we have, even if you don't have a marketing company, you're still a marketer. You're marketing yourself for a job, or you're marketing yourself. If you have a coaching business or something, it's still marketing. And if you, just wear that hat, then you'll be okay, because people will say no. And what they want us to do is go get all the no's you can get. Go get all the no's, because those people who say no will start watching you, and then they'll become yeses. So apart from all of these things, and the one thing that I like what Marina said, and I'm going to go back to my notes, is the F's that she shared is fail your way to success, find the right help, and then forgive yourself.
That's awesome, Manera. A lot of wisdom right there. And following the leader, that's exactly what I have done and continue to do, follow the leaders in LifeVantage and duplicate what they're doing. I've always said it's kind of like kindergarten, playing follow the leader,
And that's what one of the speakers said. And one of the other things, there's 5 things, I'm not sure I got all of them, But the 5 things that he said was to present. You have to figure out your presentation skills, your duplication, your leadership, and personal growth. So, you know, in a funny sort of way, this business is network marketing. They show us and teach us all of these things. I forgot the 5th one. I have to go figure it out where it is. But these 5 things, they help you grow. And I know a long time ago when people came and approached me for Amway, I didn't say yes, I didn't say no, I just kind of walked away. But my friend who's done Amway for years, she says they get a lot of leadership training in that, and they got a lot of growth training. So it's true for all of the companies, and you can't diss one to the other. But right now we have to sit down, and as a leader, Julie, you might want to do this, is we need to sit down with our teams and write down how much money we want to make
Mhm,
next year.
mhm.
So how much money do you want to make? What rank you want to be in 12 months? And the other thing is that if you have an international market, 70% of your income should come from your international clients or distributors. So,
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Manera. I appreciate what you're sharing. It's all such great information. I know this Zoom has been a little bit longer tonight, and so I hope everybody found value in it. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us. Just remember, tomorrow night, there is the LifeVantage Flip the Switch with the people sharing their stories. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Lena Meisner is going to be sharing about our products at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will post that in the Lifetree distributor Facebook group for anybody who wants to take advantage of that. She does a great job. All right. Well, thank you so much. Love you guys. Just have an awesome rest of the week. All righty. Bye for now.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Nice.